I'd like to thank the Grace of Heaven, Virtues of Masters, our grand predecessors, all transmitters, and every one of you for giving me this opportunity to learn to speak in today's class on rules and regulations of the temple. So every place has rules and regulations to guide them. Even at home, every family has their own rules and regulations, right? And in every company has their own company policies. So the temple is no exception. The temple has its own rules and regulations. So it is there to guide us, so everything will be in order and in harmony. So we must all learn what these rules and regulations are and follow them to the T, okay? So let's see what they are. First, the Buddha says, if we can follow these rules and regulations, we will be like a Buddha. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So the first thing we do when we come into the temple, what do? We clean our hands, right? So cleaning our hands is not only just to sanitize our hands before we come to the temple. The real true meaning of cleaning our hands is when we come into the temple, all our worries and problems we leave in the outside world. We come into this temple with only pure and clear heart and mind. Okay? And the only purpose to come in is to be eager to learn. That is the meaning of cleaning our hands. Okay? Not only to be clean, but also to leave our troubles of this mundane world outside. Okay? So when we come in, we clean our hands, then we go what? Put our belongings away, right? Hang up our clothes. And the first thing we must do is to go to the altar and do the arrival prayer. We must all memorize it. Okay? And Asim is not just 1 bow, 2 bow, 5 bows, okay? We have to memorize who the bow is for. Okay, I know it's difficult because it's in Chinese, but we do it gradually. If we have trouble, we can ask somebody to help us. Okay, but we gotta do it properly, not to do just 5 bows, 3 bows, 1 bow, 1 bow, 1 bow. Okay, do it properly because the meaning of an arrival prayer is number 1, tell God that we are here. This is God's home. When we enter God's home, we let God and all the saints and Buddhas know we have arrived. Just like if you go to somebody's home for dinner, the first thing you do is what? You go to the host or the hostess and give your greeting, right? Hi, how are you? Thank you for inviting me. Okay? So this is the same meaning. So before we chit-chat with somebody, that's the first thing we do. Give our greeting to God and all the saints and Buddha. After that, we must proceed to the transmitters in the temple present at that time to give a standing bow. Good morning, transmitter. Okay? Or if you want to say in Chinese, 向点传师参加. Okay, if you don't know how to say in Chinese, good morning, transmitter. Okay? So, why? Because the transmitter has heaven's mandate. We must respect the transmitter's mandate. Okay, that's very important, is to respect the mandate. Remember, there's always a set of eyes looking at us. Okay, and we do something wrong, we get a fault. Okay, so always keep that in mind. So we must memorize this arrival prayer because if we don't memorize it, when we go back to heaven, for us to learn in this world, okay, for 5 years will equal to 600 years in heaven. Do you choose to learn it in 5 years or do you choose to learn it in 600 years? That is why it is much easier to learn in this physical realm right now. Nobody teaches up there. Nobody. Okay? Over here, we have people, lecturers, and other people to guide us and teach us. So it's very important that we must learn everything. Now, when we come to class, we must come to class on time. When we are late, we are also getting a fault. Okay? Must be on time. And when we come in, do not just go around looking for your friends and chat. When we can go have a seat in the temple where we're supposed to be listening for the next class. Okay? You can do your letting go of karma and affinity practice if there's nothing going on in there. Okay? Best time. Nice and quiet in the temple. But do not waste your time chit-chatting. Or you can take one of the books and start reading it. Okay? So this is, remember, everything we do in the temple is being checked by the Buddhas. So we got to be very careful. When we are in class, we do not cross our legs. Okay? Respect for the Buddhas. We must be sitting upright, be attentive in class, and listen and try to understand everything the lecturer is saying to us. Okay? Also, do not bring drinks or snacks into the room. Okay? Only lecturers can have drinks because when we're talking, we get very dry. So that's why whenever we speak, we will have a cup of water or a thermos, okay, to soothe our throat. Okay. Now, when we come in late and the class is already started, we go to the altar in the small temple. We take 3 bows to the Buddha, 1 bow for the transmitter, a standing bow, just bow, okay? And then go immediately into class. Do not go into class and say, "Hi, Mei Ling. Hi, Tai." Okay, a lot of people do that, and you're disrupting the class because everybody will turn around and say, "Hi." Okay, the Buddhas are watching. You just quietly go into class, take a bow to the Buddhas, and then sit down. Okay, respect. Let's say in class, we need to go to the bathroom. What do? We stand up in our seat, take a bow, and then quietly walk out. When we come back, next to the seat, take a bow to the Buddhas, and then sit down. Okay, and that includes this room. You stand up, you take a bow, facing this altar. The altar is there. Okay? Respect for the Buddhas. Okay? Break time. The holy teacher says we can drink beverages, but we cannot eat snacks. Even if we see cookies and crackers or whatever is on the counter, please do not eat it. Okay? We should come into the temple after we had a full breakfast. So we should not be hungry by the time it's 11:30. Okay? Just because we see, it's also disciplining ourselves. Just because we see food does not mean we have to take it and eat it. Okay? This is what the holy teacher says. We cannot eat. We can drink, but we cannot eat. So keep that in mind. Now, if you brought food and you must eat, you can go downstairs. Do not eat in the temple. Okay? And we do not bring our breakfast and eat it over here. Breakfast must be eaten at home, not in the temple. Unless you want to share with everybody, which is 100 people. Okay? Breakfast must be eaten at home. So when we break time, we have the female water fountain on the right side when we face the window. The male water fountain is on the left side because in the temple, male and female must be separated. Whether we are standing, we are sitting, okay, or eating. Let's say we are sitting, we are talking to a male, then you leave an empty seat in the middle between the male and the female. Do not sit next to each other. Even if it's a Dian Chuan Si, which is the master, you still leave a seat in the middle. Okay? If you see someone that is doing that, you can go and say, Sorry to interrupt, but male and female must be separated, so we must leave an empty seat in the middle. Because a lot of people are doing that in there. Because I personally, almost every week, I tell somebody that. All right? Because they don't know any better. But if we don't speak up, okay, and we know and we see, we are also at fault for not letting them know. Okay? So be careful. When we speak, we keep our voices down. Okay? There's so many people. Okay? And right now, there's so many kids on top of our voices. So make sure, the temple is a solemn place. So let's just maintain that. Okay? Dress codes. When we come to the temple, we must wear what? A collared shirt and long pants. Okay. Let's say you're new. Okay. Must be a collared shirt. Sleeve with sleeve. No sleeveless shirts. Whether it's male or female, no sleeveless shirts. No low cuts. No backless. Okay? No mini skirts. No shorts. Must be long pants. This is not a beach. Cannot wear flip-flop. We must wear shoes that are closed toe, front and back. Okay? And if you want to be in uniform, the male and female would wear a white shirt with dark pants, preferably navy blue. Okay? If you notice, the men all wear a uniform tie. That's a temple tie, right? So when you want to wear uniform, you would let Tai or somebody else or Mei Ling know, so you can buy a tie, gentlemen. Okay? Now, both ladies and gentlemen must wear an undershirt inside their shirt. Why? Because you can see through it, whether it's male or female. The undershirt must be either cream color or white color. No colorful undershirt inside the white. Because Holy Teacher had said it 2 times. I personally heard him complain to 2 people. One was male, one was female. And he even told one of the male to go in front of the class and show. Do you want to be in that position? So we better dress properly. Wear an undershirt inside and do not wear a black one. Okay? I mean, that's the fashion, but don't do it here. This is not a fashionable place. This is a conservative, dignified place. So must be white inside the white shirt. Okay? For female, if you want to wear a skirt, must be kneeling. Minimum kneeling, no mini skirts. Why? Because when we kowtow, we bend down. Everything rides up. And the people standing in the back can see everything, including the Buddhas. Okay? So make sure our shirt is long enough and our skirt is long enough. If women have long hair, we must tie it in the back. Why? When we bow, our head goes up and down. When you get up, all your hair is all over the place, right? It looks like we just woke up with all that hair all over us. Okay? So that is why we must tie it. Okay? What else? Huh? You have no hair. But if you wear a wig, make sure it stays on it. Now, also if you're not in uniform, make sure you do not wear loud prints or bright colors. Okay? Like I said, this is a temple. We must remain conservative. Okay? So no bright colors and no loud floral prints. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, I had mentioned about separation of male and female before. So when we greet a male, we do not shake hands, and we definitely do not hug. Okay? No. You can hug a male, but you cannot hug a female. Okay. Because male and female have to be separated in the temple. No hugging. If you want to give a greeting, you can just stand up and say good morning with a little bow, but no handshake and no hugging or kissing. All right. So if we are in the temple, okay, and it doesn't mean you cannot talk to a male or female. Okay, somebody misunderstood me last year and they never came back. Always clarify. If you're confused, clarify and ask. Do not just disappear out of thin air. Okay, that doesn't mean you cannot talk to a female. Okay, it just means that no touching or no sitting next to each other. The reason is because this is a place of worship. Let's say a stranger comes into the temple. For them to know this is a very dignified, solemn place, they do not want male and female to be mingling together, look like a social club. Understand? So they want to see, what they want to see is a very dignified place of worship. That is the reason. Okay? Now, number 6. Okay. When we're lining up in front of the altar, whether it's before class or after class, usually the director in charge always tells us, not 1 time, not 2 times, not 3 times, but more like 5 or 6 times. Please line up straight. Female, 3 rows. Male, 1 or 2 rows. 2 rows, right? Okay. But people don't budge. They just stand there and they're solid. They don't move. Okay? You got to line up straight. If you go to the kindergarten classes, does the teacher have to say it 5 or 6 times? It becomes automatic. Little children. And we're all big adults. Why can't we do it? Shame on us. This is very shameful. Pay attention. The line is totally crooked. There's no rows. Everybody's leaning against the wall. They stand the way they want to. And there's no talking. Over here, people are always chit-chatting. Okay? If you look at the rules and regulation video, the lines are totally straight. Nobody is talking. The hand is always at their side. Okay? We don't do that here. We cannot even do what kindergarten children has to do. Right? So let's pay attention. Let's start to do it. Even though we are a small English group, but if we can do it, maybe some other people can follow. Okay? So that's very important. When we are walking from one side of the altar to the other, close to the altar, we must bend down a little bit. Okay? We cannot walk up straight, right? We have to bend down a little bit. Why? Respect to the Buddhas. If you're crossing from one side, whether to the right, from the right to the left, or the left to the right, we must bend down a little bit. You don't have to bend down to the floor because you can't walk, just a little bit. Respect for the Buddhas. That's very important. Okay? The Tao ceremony. Whenever there is a Tao ceremony, again, people don't line up straight. Remember, all the Buddhas are here. All the Buddhas are here. We don't line up straight, and we're all chit-chatting. Once you enter into the temple, you should not walk out. Some people go in and walk out and ask they please. You can't do that. If you cannot stand too long, don't go in. Okay? Once you are in, you cannot come out until the ceremony ends. Got it? Okay? At the same time, if we are bringing new people in to the temple to receive the blessing, do not teach them at the side how to hold the covenant. Do not do that. It is not your job to do that. Unless the transmitter transmits it, we cannot transmit it. We don't have heaven's mandate. Even when the transmitter is doing it, unless they say 引导师代传合同, that means the introducer and guarantor represents the transmitter to teach them. That's the only time if the transmitter does not say that, we cannot do that. We have no right to do that. Because when you're standing there, I have told so many people, I turn around, I hear them teaching them. You cannot do that. We don't have heaven's mandate to teach people or transmit that. Must be the transmitter to do that. Okay, that's very important. If we bring people into the temple to receive the Tao, and they do not agree to receive the Tao, it is our responsibility as the introducer or guarantor to spend the time with them out of the temple to try and motivate them. Not to just abandon them in there. They cannot be in there because they cannot watch the ceremony. You must take them out of the temple and sit them outside here, try to find out what the problem is. Okay? Because one time, it was just because the lady was afraid of so many people watching her. Simple matter like that. That can be resolved in no time. But if we don't spend that time to motivate them, we wouldn't even know that was the problem. So you have to find out what is the problem for not receiving the Tao. If you find out it's something we can be flexible and overcome, great. Right? So you, as the introducer or guarantor, you must stay with the new person from beginning until they walk out the door. Even whether they receive the Tao or not. This is our job. One time I was doing the 3 treasure and somebody did not receive the Tao, was sitting right there. I had no idea. And I already did the first treasure. I had no idea. Then I looked at him and it dawned on me, did he receive the Tao? I panicked. Okay, so that is why it's very important for the introducer and guarantor to stay with the new person because they don't know where they're supposed to be. But it's our responsibility. We are at fault. Okay, so that is why it is very important that they cannot be in the temple during the Tao ceremony. They cannot listen to the 3 treasures. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the 3 treasures, okay, whoever is free should go and sit down and listen, no matter who the speaker is. No matter who the speaker is. I learned this from Jinghua Daxian. Okay, she told me, no matter who's talking, and no matter how many times you listen to this person, you go and sit down. That's how I learned my 3 treasure. Okay, just sit down and listen. Maybe what he said last week, if it's the same lecture, maybe what he said last week is a little bit different from what he said this week. You can always pick up something. Okay, the more we listen, the more we can do it ourselves. In the long run, everybody has to know how to do that. Everybody. So the more we learn, the more we can do it with no problem. Okay, so don't think, oh, I already know it. Yes, everybody knows it, but are you ready to do it? That's the question. Okay, so always listen whether if it's in Chinese, if you understand a little bit of Chinese, you still listen. That's how I learned. And I didn't understand too much Chinese in the old days. Okay, but I sat in there. Okay, so when the 3 treasures are being conducted in the small temple, we cannot stand around that area and go walk back and forth. Lao Sư said, we cannot walk back and forth through that door. And we cannot chit-chat with the books on. Okay. When I was doing it, group of people were chit-chatting with the books on. The louder I speak, the louder they become. I cannot even hear myself. I cannot. And all the people that was listening to me turned their head facing them. They were not listening to me. They were looking at them because they were laughing and giggling and so loud. I had to stop, walk over there, tell them to go outside. Okay, I don't care if they're mad at me or not, but you are disrupting the three treasures. Right? They're still doing it. Everybody's still doing it. Okay? So that's why we know we cannot do that. You walk the long way from there into the big temple out the door. Do not walk back and forth over there. Okay? Temple materials. Whenever we use something from the temple, we must put it back from where we took it from. Because this is a big place. There are so many people that uses things. And if we don't find it, you don't put it back, the person using it next time will go to the same place to look for it. They cannot find it. Okay? So whose fault? The first person that used it, because they did not put it back. And then in the past it's happened, and I keep buying and buying and buying. At the end, you get so many overstock stuff. We don't have that much room in here. Okay? We have minimum of space and maximum of people. So we got to be careful. Where we take it from, we must put it back. Okay? Everything in this temple belongs to God. It does not belong to the humans here. Nobody, nothing. Okay? The books in the small temple there is for anyone that wants to read it to take it home. Those are free. But the books in here, you can only read it in the temple. They're more like reference books because we have minimum copies. We don't have a copy for everybody. If you take it home, you forget to bring it back. And there was only one copy. So what happened? The temple don't have that book. Maybe it's irreplaceable. Okay? So make sure you do not take any of these books here home. You can take the books over there. All right? Also, holy water in the temple belongs to God. If we need holy water, we ask the transmitters or the director in charge or the lecturers if we can have some holy water. Maybe we have a family member that's sick. We must ask. Even though we know where it is, do not take it without permission. That's no different than stealing. Okay? Because this is God's material. Okay? So do not take it unless you get permission. Holy water is water that we offer to God and the Buddhas in the morning or when we have a Tao ceremony. We accumulate that water into a bottle. And whenever somebody is sick or seriously sick, if one is sincere and takes a big vow to get better, that holy water is a miracle water. However, if you don't take a big vow and you just want to drink it so you can recover, that holy water is nothing but faucet water. Okay? So everything depends on our own heart and mind. With sincerity, you can overcome anything. But without sincerity, even the Buddha's water help cannot help you. It all depends on our own heart and mind. Okay? That is holy water. Okay? Oh, fruits. Fruits. When we come into the temple, in the small altar, you have on the table a big metal basket of fruits. That fruit, and if you see them on red platters, that fruit is to be offered for the Buddhas. It is not for us to, I want a tangerine, and you grab the tangerine and start peeling and eating. The Buddha did not even get it yet. You got it? Okay, because I caught people doing that during the Dharma class. I'm standing there talking to somebody, and they come in, excuse me, and grab a fruit. I said, oh no, you cannot eat that fruit. And then they just throw it back. Okay?
We should not even smell the food.
Yeah, you cannot smell it. Right, you cannot smell. Oh, this smells good. Then the Buddhas will like it. The Buddha says, I don't need you to smell my fruit. Lao Tzu said that one time. Don't smell my fruit. Okay, don't sniff it.
Do you mean in preparing the fruits?
Don't smell it. Don't smell it. Even before you offer it, don't smell it. Because Lao Tzu mentioned it, I think 2 times, I'm not sure. But at least I heard it once. He goes, I don't need you guys to smell my fruit. Okay? The flowers is okay. Because the fruit is to eat. You don't need to smell. Everybody has bacteria. Hello?
What about if when I go to buy, they smell?
I don't smell them.
I cannot do.
If you, huh?
Supermarket, that's what you mean.
When I
The doors, yeah.
go to store, I cannot get it.
Well, if you buy it for yourself, you can smell it. You can smell it 10 million times. But if you're offering it to the Buddhas, do not smell them.
How do I know that is good or bad?
But we should not.
You can
we should not
visibly,
smell food
okay,
in the first place.
when we buy fruits, when we buy fruits for the Buddhas, it doesn't have to be expensive, but it must be fresh. Fresh fruits you can see from the appearance. You don't need to smell it. Yeah, you can feel it and you can look at it, but you don't need to smell it.
The peach would
No, I don't smell them. I never smell my
You
fruits.
can't really tell if a fruit is good if you smell it.
Yeah,
Because, you know,
don't smell it before you give it to the
each
Buddhas.
fruit has its own smell that is not an indication that the fruit is good or it's sweet or it's sour.
Right, okay. So oh yes, Guy.
What about the fruit on the small table when we enter? The hand sanitizer.
Okay, yes, that fruit you can eat. Definitely. But do not eat during break time. You can eat before class or after class. Okay, but don't eat during class or break time. Okay, but don't take the fruits from there. Though, even if you see them in bags or boxes, those are donations from other people. Do not eat them. It has to be offered to the Buddhas first. Okay? So, any material we take from the temple to home, we cannot read it in the bathroom or in the bedroom or toss it in the garbage can. Got it? If you don't want it, you bring it back to the temple. But you do not, if you don't want it, do not take it out of the temple. All right? To be on the safe side. And that includes all temple books.
I think some people have the habit of just, putting the books on the floor, the carpet, it's normal, I guess, with other books, but not with the, the books from temple.
Yeah, books from the temple, you should put it on the bookshelf
On the table, not
or on the table, but not on the floor. Okay. The doorways. I didn't get it. It's number 11. He reminded me. So male and female has their own separate doorways. Okay, if we are facing the altar, the male door is labeled on the outside. The male door is this door here, close to this room. The female door is the other door. So we must enter and leave from the proper door, unless we don't know if we're male or female. Then we're in trouble. Okay? So make sure you enter from the right door, because the doorway is very small, and if a male walks through and the female walks through, what? You both get stuck at the doorway. Okay? So that is the purpose of that. And also, don't stand and talk in front of the doorway, because the doorway is for people to walk through. If you stand in front of the doorway, even when I say excuse me 10 million times, people don't budge. They just don't budge. Whether I'm saying it in Chinese or English. Okay. Do not stand in front of the doorway when talking. Go to the side. Okay. Number 12. Etiquettes. Everybody wants to be among people with good, proper manners, right? I do. Right? So we all represent the Tao now. So we all must have good etiquettes. Okay, the way we speak, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we dress, everything must be in accordance with our Buddha nature. Okay, so when we see people in the morning, we must put on a big smile to greet people. Even if it's a different language, a smile has no barriers. Okay? A smile can say 1,000 words, even if you don't say a word. Makes people feel welcome. Always greet with a smile. When the transmitter, this is a very important matter. When the transmitter is standing in the same room, and we should not be sitting down, because he or she has heaven's mandate. If they come in, we should stand up. Unless they say, no, sit down, then we can sit. If they don't say, unless they sit down, we cannot sit down. Got it? Until they leave the room. I didn't know this. I learned this the hard way. When the Taiwan transmitters came, and the transmitter walks in, and I'm just sitting there. And on the side, the transmitter goes to me. So I get up. I didn't know why. I just add 1 + 1 = 2. Got it? When the transmitters enter a room, we should stand up. Respect for the mandate. Yes, Joe.
So if the transmitter comes in,
We should stand up, but a lot of people don't. Yeah, but I guess during class is okay. Okay, they're ending, so I guess we have to end. Okay, I didn't finish the class, so because there's people receiving the Tao today. So, is anybody here receiving the Tao? Otherwise, we can continue.
The ceremony today? Did you sign up some with the dance? Feel like
No, right? Okay, so we can continue until they finish. Until they finish.
He is, yeah, I know.
Oh,
Who is the introducer?
who?
Oh. Okay, so maybe you and Johnny, you can lead the class first. Are you two? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to leave to go to the other room to receive the blessing.
Zip up your jacket.
Yes. And congratulations.
Yeah, your t-shirt.
Okay, the next thing is when we are walking, if somebody is in front of us, please do not push them. Chinese people all push each other. That's, yeah, I'm serious. I've been pushed 10 million times. They just push me. Like, get out of my way. Yeah. You can say, excuse me. Okay? You do not push people. Because these are cement ground underneath. Okay? If somebody is not balanced and you push them, they can fall and hit their head. Yeah, that's so dangerous. Right? And if it's an elderly person, they can die. Am I right? Anybody, even a child. We do not push. People from mainland China tend to push a lot. I have told them so many times. It angers me. They just push me. Yeah, they push. Oh, the people here.
they don't say excuse
They don't say.
They do physical.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we get pushed, we must tell them, please say it nicely. Please do not push. Okay, you have to tell them because they don't learn. And male do that too. Whether it's I've been pushed by male with their body. I'm serious.
On the street?
Here, here.
Who's this guy?
I don't want to say names.
You did it.
I don't want to say names. And one time I'm sitting, the same person pushed my chair. I almost fell on the floor. And that's when I spoke up. That's when I spoke up. I said, look, you have pushed me when I'm standing, you have pushed me when I'm walking, and you're pushing me when I'm sitting. I almost fell. Same person. Same person. And he's big. Okay, I'm tiny, right? I said, don't push me. And now he doesn't. You got to speak up. You have to speak up.
That's embarrassing.
Okay, you have to speak up. Because today we are okay. We don't know if one day they're going to hurt somebody. We got to speak up if somebody push you.
We have 毛病脾气.
Yeah,
We have problems.
we have a lot of problems here. Yes, Joe.
I moved from a different place. I
Right.
came here in Flushing. It's true. People are rude.
They are rude. You get pushed in the street too.
Actually,
Are you serious?
I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
I have
They
a
push, they don't get out of your way.
Yeah.
I'm walking with a cane down the sidewalk.
Oh, be careful.
They will not move.
No.
Stay in
Oh,
there.
oh, they would not yield. You know?
No.
Not really.
Even in
Not
here,
aware.
I said 10 times, excuse me, they don't budge. Excuse me louder, they don't budge. Excuse me, they still don't budge.
And they do push.
It's a New York
I
thing.
think it's
New Yorkers
because
don't
they
have
didn't
it.
learn. That's all.
No, it's not a New York thing. It's a mainland China thing.
I'm embarrassed.
If you go into Manhattan, they don't push you. It's no in Flushing.
Stampede, man. You gotta get out of the way.
No,
Either move or
only
get out of the
China
way.
people push
Either
you.
move or get out of the way.
Because
They don't know any better. Yeah, that is why we gotta speak up to teach them. If we let them push us, it will be endless. Somebody will get hurt. Okay, somebody will get
That's
hurt.
very basic, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe not. Maybe it's not basic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Horn.
Yes.
Maybe it's advanced.
Beep, beep,
Advanced
beep, beep,
cultivation.
beep. All the time.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But Manhattan's like that. New York is like that.
Where I came from, no.
I mean, that-
You're polite.
Yeah.
I think Northeast.
Connecticut and upstate.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. That's different.
They're not move. You have to, they
Spitting.
give it to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Why-
That's
why-
bad
why-
habit.
why-
Oh yeah.
Laws like Singapore. You know,
I think it's so
Singapore,
disgusting.
They're the fine.
They take you to jail, you know.
That's why when I go home, I must remove my shoes.
Bang in the morning.
You know that?
when you
Singapore
go
does that.
walk,
See, that's the
you
only way,
see a lot
man.
of
See, that's why we have.
Yeah, you should find them.
Garbage can.
Because see, it's upbringing. It's upbringing.
Family.
It's all upbringing. Yeah, all this must be taught as a child.
Man,
It's upbringing.
Yeah, it is upbringing. Okay, so
Oh, that's
cleanliness. Okay, this is God's home.
what I have. I'm embarrassed.
We must maintain the cleanliness of the temple. Okay, Holy Teacher says, is our home clean?
Listen, mine,
Okay,
everybody have a dog.
we have to go home and check whether our home is clean. Because our home represents our heart and mind.
My home
Okay?
is clean.
Not only our home, our car represents our heart and mind too. So don't mess up your car, okay? You got to maintain the cleanliness, whether it's our car or our home. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
God, I gotta clean my house.
Exactly. And that means your heart and mind is cluttered.
All
Okay.
external stuff.
Yeah, but you still, you know, if a home is clean, you feel more serene. You feel more calm, right? When you go home, you're more relaxed.
No, it's important. See, like when I was growing up, my grandmother always used to say,
Too attached to.
no, it says,
No, that's the teacher.
Because you don't know when.
The
how
teacher
you're
said
coming
that.
back, right? So you
I
don't
have
want
a bug
strangers to
hiding
come.
underneath the pile of garbage.
Okay, I make peace with the bugs.
Maybe there's a dead mouse in
I
there.
make peace with them.
No, the teacher said that. The
I'm
teacher,
harmony with
the
them.
teacher asked that many times. I've heard in the Dharma class. Is our home clean? Okay.
I don't oppose
So
that.
don't clean the home and get all your clutter and stash it in your car. Okay. So the car represents the home also. Okay. So just maintain the neatness and the cleanliness. When we are in the temple, if we mess up the bathroom, we clean up after ourselves. If we do not want to clean up after somebody else, you do not want other people to clean after you. So if you messed it up, you clean before you leave that bathroom. Understand? Okay. This is the, we all love to cook. We all love to cook. But when we cook, we must clean up our mess. The kitchen is very messy. Lots of grease, okay? If I cook like that at home, I will wipe all my cabinets after I cook. but I don't cook like that. So I have zero drop of grease at home.
They clean. I see.
Okay,
No,
so
I
make
see
sure
Not enough.
not enough.
Maybe not.
Not enough. I know how the kitchen is. I used to come and clean every Wednesday. Okay? Now I'm so busy with painting, I don't have time to come and clean.
We
So
have this one coming every week.
she took over my job.
You are lady.
Don't worry, when Kenny and
Mermaid.
I cook, we always clean up the kitchen. So don't
Mermaid
worry.
lady.
I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying if we cook, we must clean. Okay? Why? Because it attracts mice or mices, whatever. Okay? And it attracts what? Cockroaches. And it attracts flies. Okay? So we don't want all these little creatures to be crawling around, right? Because they mass produce. Okay? Now, the sink in the hallway. It was originally set to clean the fruit for the Buddhas. Now people wash their hands, wash their face, they rinse their mouth. It is so unsanitary. It is so unsanitary. If you want to wash your hands, rinse your mouth, go to the bathroom. Okay? Because why? Sometimes they wash vegetables over there. Do you want to eat the vegetables that they wash after somebody rinsed their mouth? Exactly. So do not do that over there. And the towels above the sink is only for the class members when they come in or for the lecturers. Do not grab a towel and start wiping the table with it, because those towels are white. If you find them doing that, it will turn to gray. Okay, so don't use those towels. If you need rags, you ask somebody for rags. Yes, Joe.
So you shouldn't be washing dishes in that sink.
No.
Right?
A lot of people do. I don't want to say anything.
You wash the cups.
Some people, yeah, they wash their cups in there. They wash these cups in there, yeah. But I suggest the people that do the vegetables there to scrub the sink. I always scrub the sink
Well,
when
they-
I
they-
come
they
in.
have to do that because
I
there's
know
no
that
room in
sink
the
is
kitchen.
disgusting. I always scrub that sink.
It's poorly
Okay.
designed.
But sometimes I forget to. Okay, so up to you guys to scrub the sink. Okay, now next, the talent room or any other room in here. Okay, we cannot put our own personal belongings there. Some people, they leave their uniform here and they wear their street clothes and come in here and change. Hello, we cannot accommodate over 100 people. Take your personal stuff home. You change at home. Okay? If you change over here, you put your stuff in your bag. You do not leave your personal stuff here. One time, we found bags and bags and bags of what? Donated old clothes. We are not a charity here that accommodates donations. You want somebody to pick up your donation? Go on the website. Many donations to pick up. I just had one picked up 2 weeks ago. You just call them, arrange a time and date, they come and pick it up. Okay? Do not bring your donated clothes here or anything else here. Okay. When we eat before lunch, what do? We say grace, right? We say grace. And the Holy Teacher said, we never thank the farmers when we say grace.
No, we should.
Yeah, we should, but we never do.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Because without the farmers, do we have all these beautiful vegetables and fruits to consume? No, we must include the farmers. 感谢天认识的，感谢农夫，感谢厨师. I always include in that, but still people don't include.
你写感谢藏军队。
Yeah, we can do that. Zhao Jun is the Buddha.
The kitchen.
Yeah, the kitchen god.
Kitchen day.
Yeah. Zhao Jun, the kitchen god, lives in the oven, in the stove.
No, the hearth.
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 Fireplace.
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. In
No,
every
there's a
household.
fireplace.
In every household. That's why Kai says we must thank
Yeah,
Zhao
it's
Jun,
Zhao-
because
Zhao-
without Zhao Jun we cannot have
Yeah, you
cooked
can't
food.
cook.
Okay.
We'll be like animals.
When we eat lunch, we must quietly go to the table. Do not speak and open your mouth. Get your food. Use the common ladle. Never use your own fork to get your. That's so unsanitary. Use the common ladle. Okay? And once you get your own food, walk away from the table so other people can have the chance to get their food. Do not eat around the table and grab so you can grab food much
people don't do
easier.
that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's
I hope-
selfish.
I hope.
That becomes selfish. Okay? And do not speak during
Yeah.
around the table, because when you speak, what happens? You open your mouth, saliva will come out. Food that was in your mouth will come out.
Oh, that's-
Do you want to eat that?
Hey, I lost my appetite.
I don't.
See, in terms of the food, I have a request for all the English class people that it's always a lot of food, and it would look much nicer if we wait and let everybody get their food first, and then we go afterwards, because it's so much people
Yeah.
rushing and pushing and so forth.
It doesn't
Lots
make
of times
sense,
you
yeah.
see somebody have to do a mop because somebody
It's like a zoo, yeah.
bouncing the next person because they want to get this before the other person.
You know, that's a very basic sign of our level of cultivation. If we can't do that well, forget about the rest. Forget about saying, "Oh, I know Buddha nature." Forget about it. You're not even showing it.
These are the basic stuff we should
to
all
me-
be
to me,
practicing.
yeah, even people who don't know the Tao
This is
know
all
how to do this.
etiquette, yeah.
So this is very fundamental. So if we can't do this, forget about the rest. Forget it. Don't
Exactly.
bother. Don't bother. It's sad. It's sad, but that's
Yes,
true.
Joe.
So at this time, going back to the doors, are we still following? Like lunchtime, female goes to the female.
Yes.
Male goes to the male.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, and also
Okay.
ideally, gentlemen should take food from the side
The
where
side,
they're
yeah,
sitting.
that's
Yes.
not gonna
Ladies
happen.
from the
Yeah.
side.
It's not gonna happen.
Yes.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
Very important.
They rush and they're on both sides, and the food is over here and they're stretching across.
It looks like a homeless line.
So
It's like people haven't had food for 2 months.
it sounds like a joke, but I'm sure this is one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't return to the temple.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, come on. You don't have a sign. You don't put up a
Oven
sign.
is the
You should put up a barrier. Next time we should put up a barrier. We should put up a barrier then.
No, you don't need a
I think before lunch they should announce every day, every time.
Yeah, no.
Please do not speak. Use common ladles. It should be announced every time while they're fetching their food.
Embarrassing.
While they're fetching, because these people has to be taught, no matter what.
See, it's a habit already.
I know, but habits can be broken.
Yeah, it takes a long
Yes,
time.
Guy.
On a point of order, as far as the grace goes, when grace is being said, if you have not received your bowl, you put your bowl up to your heavenly temple, yes, to your heavenly portal, to that level, the eye level. If you don't have a bowl in your hand, you haven't received one yet, and grace is being said, what do you do?
You can say it with them, and even though you didn't get your food yet.
Do it when you get your
When you get your own food, but then he doesn't know how to do it. You just say thank the grace of heaven.
Just pretend you do.
Yeah, just say in English thank the grace of heaven. Thank the farmers, thank the cooks, thank the kitchen guard. Okay, transmitters, please proceed, and all members, please proceed. That's all. Yes, Mei Ling.
I see a lot of people holding up empty bowl.
I know, I would not do that.
Yeah, I would.
Don't hold an empty
That's
bowl.
embarrassing.
Yeah, you're not thanking God for the empty bowl. Okay, just memorize it. You can say it in English. Okay, just memorize it and do. Now, when you're home, you should also do it if it's all vegetarian. You got it? do not, if you're still eating meat, do not say
don't-
grace.
Yeah, don't
'Cause
ask
God-
blessing for your meat.
God did not say you can eat the meat. Okay, only when it's vegetarian food. Okay, so the teacher says we cannot bring food with eggs into the temple, and yet I find cookies and whatever that has eggs in there, lots of it. Okay, time after time we say that. It's the Chinese people that always bring them in. They don't listen. No eggs allowed in the temple.
Milk too.
Yeah, well, the teachers just said eggs, but milk so also. Okay. People that did not receive the Tao in our temple, we must first get permission from their transmitter in their temple, plus our transmitter in our temple, before they can come to our temple. Got it? Do not just bring anybody into the temple. Okay? So they must get permission from both sides. Yeah, if they are members of the other temple, we must get permission from both sides in order for them to come here. Yes, Johnny.
So does that mean if a person is in a religion that they
No, it means a person in a Tao temple, but a different temple.
I know just
Right. Not other religions, no. Okay? When we are in the temple, we cannot gossip. We cannot gossip at all, whether in or out of the temple. But mostly do not gossip here. And also, do not promote our own personal business in the temple. In other words, do not hand out your business cards. Do not take down customers' names or potential customers to promote our business. Okay? Do not do that. You can call them on the phone when you get home, but do not do that in the temple. This is not a place to do business. Heaven is watching. Everything we say, everything we do. When other people are koto, if we're sitting down, we must all stand up.
No, if you're in the same room.
If you're in the same room, I mean. Or you can pull the blackboard to block it. But if you don't pull the blackboard to block it, you cannot sit and other people's koto, respect for the Buddhas. Okay, so if you see somebody koto and you're sitting down, immediately stand up. And don't sit down until they finish. Or you walk out of the room if you must sit. Got it? Now cushions. If you notice, we have many cushions in rows of threes, right? 3 cushions on 1 row. In the front. Yeah, in the back is many more rows. But in the front is 3 rows. Now who takes what cushion? Okay, usually the transmitter is always in the first row, center cushion. Okay, then the lecturers, okay, depends on when they received the Tao and when they became a lecturer. Okay, so it's always center, right, left in terms of ranks or in terms of age. Let's say a senior person must go to the front. Got it? So never rush to the front. It's always better to be humble and stay in the back. Okay? So we are done. So I guess if I said anything wrong, I ask God and all the saints and Buddhas for their forgiveness. Thank you, everybody. Huh?
Should be twice. Male
Oh.
female.
Was that the male or the female?
It's only once.
No, I got that.
Would you go and check for me, Edison? Thank you. Okay. If not, we can continue.
I have a question.
Yes, Joe.
Okay, so when the class is in session and somebody walked in, they're late, how many bows, standing bows they should be doing?
Usually, usually,
When what?
How many standing bows they should be doing when
When what?
entering a class?
Classroom
A
in
session
session.
that is already.
Oh, when
in
you're
session.
late, if you're
Yeah,
late.
yeah.
No, it was mentioned earlier about
she did mention
leaving your seat or coming back.
yeah, well, you need just one bow and then sit down. But if you go to this to pay respect to the Buddhas before you come in, it must be 3 bows for the Buddha, 1 for the transmitter.
What about entering the classroom?
Entering your classroom, 1 bow and then sit down. And when you get up, 1 bow. It was confirmed with Taiwan.
Okay, 1, right?
Yeah, he probably misunderstand that it's to the Buddhas. Maybe he didn't know that they already took 3 bows.
So you bow to the Buddhas outside.
Yes,
When
3
you
bows to
enter,
the
you do
Buddha.
one bow to
What,
the-
because that represents your arrival propriety. 3 bows.
参加，
Yeah, 参加. 3 bows to the Buddha, 1 for the transmitter. You come in, 1 bow, and then you sit down.
So you don't need to do the full Tenja propriety.
Not if the class is starting,
Uh-huh.
because your main purpose is to come and attend the class. Okay, if class is in session. But if class did not start yet, you must do the full propriety. Yes, Joe.
When you're departing the temple,
Okay, when we're departing, we also must do a departure prayer. It's the same thing, but usually after class, it was included
Yeah,
in
we
there.
do it before lunch.
Yeah.
Usually we do it before
Yeah.
lunch. After this class, when we do do that bowing, we do it at the very end. That's the departure
we
ceremony.
don't
Right?
have to do it again.
Right.
No.
So
Okay.
we all do it right there.
The last group of bow was the departure prayer.
Right.
So because some people don't know how to do it, some people forget, so that's why we do it here, so we don't cause a fault. Yes, Edison.
I noticed that sometimes some people doesn't do the departure, they just stand there because they are staying in the
Oh yeah, because they stay in the temple. Some of them live upstairs, like Thai and transmitters, and some other people. If they live upstairs or they're staying in the temple here, then they don't have to do the departure prayer because they're not leaving yet.
But I do it anyways because otherwise it kind of looks kind of odd, just
Yeah.
standing there or moving out. And it's
Not
just
doing anything.
Yeah.
a little bit of commotion, so I just go along with it.
Yeah. Now, by the way, I forgot something in the beginning. When we do the arrival prayer, we do 1 bow for the transmitters, right?
At the end.
Now, at the end, right? Now, when the transmitter come in after us,
Right.
after we got here, we have to all go to the altar, 向点传师接驾. It's called 接驾, not 参加. 接驾 is when we come before them.
But usually they're here before us.
No, not all. Then, when the transmitter leave before us, we have to go to the altar, do 1 bow, 向点传师送驾一个手, and then 送驾礼毕. Okay, 放手鞠躬. And then you just go to the transmitter and say, 或是向点是送驾, or 或是向点是接驾. That's very important now. You got it? Are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay. You look confused.
Because I don't think I ever.
Okay, now you can start.
I never.
Okay, because you
First
didn't
time
know.
hearing it, yeah.
No, I've covered it before. When you come in, you come first. There may be other transmitters that come later because not everybody lives here. Then you see that transmitter comes in. You go to the altar. 坐一跪，向点传师接驾一个手旗，坐一接驾礼毕放手鞠躬。Then you go and say 某某点传师后学向你接驾。Okay? Then if the 点传师 leave before us, let's say they have to go home early or they have to go and 办道, then we have to go to the altar. 坐一跪向点传师送驾一个手旗，坐一送驾礼毕放手鞠躬。Then we go and approach that 点传师。某某点是或是向点是送驾一个手一鞠躬. You following me now?
This is when you.
Whenever when you're here on Sundays, whether you're Sunday here or to here to 办道 or to here for anything.
Yeah, usually applies to transmitter room because she doesn't live here. So I come with her, and usually we come here by 9 o'clock. So if you come here after 9, you don't have to worry. If you arrive here after 9, you
But sometimes we don't notice, so it's okay. But if we notice and we don't do it, then we are at fault. Got it? Yeah. If we don't notice that she got here, then it's okay. You can keep an eye on the door 24 hours looking at the door.
or maybe we
Yeah, I
can, we
think
can
we are not very
actually
strict.
notify each other that
Okay.
can be done.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.